and welcome. I am Light, and this is my channel. And today, we are going to discuss the bizarre disappearance and death of Adrienne Quintal from Michigan. Before we get started, per usual, the housekeeping. Please give this video a thumbs up. The ratio between views and thumbs up doesn't add up. So, I know a lot of you are just not doing it. You probably forget. I remind you now, but I don't remind you at the end of the video. So if you would, please go ahead and reach over and click that thumbs up. And then if worst comes to worst, you can just unclick it if you want to. All right? And if you're not subscribed and you would like to be, please go ahead and do that. You can be notified when my content goes live. And I guess that's about it. So, let's get into this, shall we? From late September to mid-October in 2019, over a period of around 3 weeks, Adrienne Quintal, who goes by Ada and was 47 years old, from Southfield, Detroit, had been fixing up a cabin. It had been in the family for 75 years, and it was on Indian Hill Road in the small village of Honor, 250 miles west of her Detroit home. She had been staying there with her boyfriend, who returned home to Detroit on October 15th. As well as working on the cabin, Ada was also just getting ready for hunting and enjoying the wildlife. She loved the outdoors. She was an outdoor person. Her 27-year-old son, Nick White, came over to drop off some supplies, but then he left, saying that his mother had been in good spirits. Everything seemed fine. On Thursday, October 17th, 2019, at around 2:30 in the morning, Adrienne called a friend in Warren, saying that she was scared. She sounded panicked as she said that she saw people outside of her cabin. She was begging this person, her friend, for help, and in doing so, she relayed this incredible story of what was happening to her at the moment. The family friend called 911 shortly after the call, and he told the police that Ada was involved in a shootout with 2 men, and she said that she had shot one of those men in the face. The friend tried to get Ada's address and called her back after calling the police, but the call went straight to voicemail. And Ada was gone. 9.5 weeks later, a body was discovered just a few hundred yards from the house in an area scoured previously by searchers and sniffer dogs. And they'd come up with nothing. Many questions remain about this bizarre case, which at first sight seemed to be caused by a home invasion deep in the woods. But the authorities now believe that this is simply a case of a woman who had succumbed to drugs. She had a prior head injury, and then, on top of that, it was bitterly cold outside. So what really happened at the cabin in Michigan that night? Authorities said that sheriff's deputies searched the area at about 3:15 in the morning on October 17th and found multiple bullet holes in a window of the cabin and shell casings on the ground from what appeared to be different guns. So, at least 2 different guns, right? And on the ground implies outside of the cabin. She said she had been inside the cabin and saw people outside. If they had said on the floor, then to me that would imply inside the cabin, but that's not what it said. Using K9 units and thermal imaging cameras, police searched the area and inside the cabin, but were unable to find anyone. The bullet holes appeared to show that a gun was fired inside the home, shooting out. But Benzie County Sheriff Ted Schendel said that there was no evidence someone had been shot, and there was no blood or signs of a struggle inside or outside the house. To add to the strangeness of the case, Ada's boots and her cell phone were found on the roof of her cabin. How did they end up on the roof? Her 9mm gun was found on the ground, and it was near the cabin, and it was under some leaves, as well as her purse, her credit cards, and her keys. Why had she discarded the handgun? Why was it under leaves with her other possessions? Had she been kidnapped? Benzie County Undersheriff Kyle Rosa said, "We did not see any evidence of there being another party out there shooting back at her or doing things that were described. I just can't explain it. Not sure what her state of mind was at the time, whether it was a medical event, perhaps. We do feel that she was there the entire time." But there were 2 guns. Where's the other gun? That's strange, isn't it? The police weren't sure if Ada was missing voluntarily or if she was in danger. The boyfriend was questioned, of course, and initially considered a suspect before being released without charge. Honor is a village in Benzie County with a population of about 300 people. It's about 20 miles south of Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore and 25 miles west of Traverse City. Michigan State Police and Benzie County search and rescue teams with sniffer dogs and drones scoured the area around the cabin, focusing on an area within half of a mile where Ada had disappeared. Scouring is the word they used. Sniffer dogs. But despite a large search involving at least 20 people and many friends and family members, nothing turned up. No body, no scent, no evidence. In December 2019, the cadaver dogs were also used in the search. After 9.5 weeks of searching around the cabin, around the area, up to a mile away, it was the family who found a body at around 1:30 p.m. on December 21st. It was in a flooded area about 300 to 400 yards from her cabin. It was on the family property, on a branch of the North Platte River, and the remains were submerged in about 3 feet of water. The Benzie County Sheriff's Department said that the body was found in a rugged, dense area near where they had searched before, and it was very hard to get in order to retrieve the remains. The family managed to get in, right? At the time, the family was conducting their own search. They were using trained search and rescue teams, and that's when they came across the body. Scars and a tattoo helped to confirm the identity of the body as being Adrienne Quintal. Kyle Rosa of the Benzie County Sheriff's Office said, "From what we could see upon our initial contact and recovery, we did not see anything that would indicate foul play or a cause of death at that time." Jenny Bryson, Ada's sister, said, "The search is over. We have not stopped searching for Ada for the past 9.5 weeks. Today we found her. We are heartbroken, as the search did not have a positive ending." The Benzie County Sheriff's Office said that Ada's death was caused by a combined effect of methamphetamines, diazepam, and hypothermia. Her death was ruled as an accident, but the exact circumstances of her death still remain a mystery. Police and the family have speculated a medical issue might be to blame. She had suffered a head injury several months before her disappearance. So, did Ada succumb to drugs and a prior head injury and just start shooting 2 different weapons? One they found, the other is where? Then did she put her shoes and her phone on the roof of the cabin and just walk off into a cold body of water and die, as the authorities would have us believe? Or was Ada the subject of foul play? She had told her friend that she was being attacked by mysterious assailants at the cabin, but the police found no evidence that anyone had been shot as she had claimed. Except, for the bullets. But they didn't find Ada's body at the time either. How was the body missed as the area had already been searched with not only sniffer dogs, but then also cadaver dogs. A drone found nothing, despite the area around the cabin being thoroughly examined. Ada's body was only a few hundred yards from the cabin. Was her body so covered with water that they couldn't see her? Would she not have been floating? I don't know. If Ada was in danger, why didn't she call 911 instead of her friend? Why were her boots and cell phone found on the roof of the cabin? For some reason, did she throw them up there? Was she hiding on the roof? We may never know. It's a very strange and mysterious disappearance and death. As always, if you have any information, no matter how little it seems or how irrelevant it seems, go ahead and call the police. These cases are often solved on the tiniest little bit of information. Thank you for coming to my channel, and good night.